Hey there, it's Tom Corson-Knowles, the Authentic Health Coach, and welcome today to the Authentic Health Coaching Show. We have an amazing guest today. You are absolutely going to love her. Her name is Alison Heath. Now, Alison has an inspiring, amazing, incredible health story that she's going to share with you today that is absolutely amazing. But just to give you a short synopsis, basically she was in a horrible accident, had a multiple compound fracture in her leg, and several recurrent infections in the bone marrow of her leg, and in most cases that would have to be amputated. But she said, I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to heal this myself, and she did. She's now off all medications, Synthroid, lithium, all the other medications she was taking. She's now off all medications, and she lives a healthy, vibrant, amazing life. And Alison has become known as the longevity rescuer because she helps people. What most people call anti-aging, but so just live a healthier, more radiant, more happy, more vibrant life through good food, through good nutrition, and good health habits. And today, Alison shares with us the power of taking responsibility for our own health. How just making the smallest, most simple changes, adding one superfood in your diet regimen, for instance, can have dramatic, incredible, profound differences in your life and your health. So take great notes. Make sure you got your notebook, your journal out. Take great notes. You're going to love the show today. All right, enjoy. Well, Alison, thanks so much for being with us today on the Authentic Health Coaching Show. Tell us about your background and what got you interested in healthy living in the first place.
Oh boy, there's a story and a half. Well, I guess I started out as a party animal. And like everybody, I figured I could just live forever and go about doing my stuff without a worry. And I kind of read like the Peril of Pauline. I had so many health issues and so many health problems, including incurable conditions like hypothyroidism and bipolar disorder. So they said, you're going to be on these medications for the rest of your life. And I went, eek, well, that's it. That's okay. And then I fell down and injured my leg. Well, actually, I didn't fall down. I was run over by a motorcycle in the West Indies. They were going to amputate my leg. And I said, no, I'm going to save my leg. So I really put that intention out there. And I started doing everything I could to take care of my leg. And I stumbled across some really amazing superfood. And I started adding that into my diet, and I was able to save my leg. 17 operations later, and, to the amazement of my physicians, it started to heal. And then, without my even expecting it, when I went for my blood tests, I noticed things started to change. And before I knew it, I didn't need any more Synthroid for my hypothyroidism. And then the day came where I didn't need any more lithium. And, as soon as I saved my leg, I really realized that there was so much involved in nutrition. And I wanted to share that with everybody. So there's a bunch of physicians in my family, and I figured they're the ones that need to know the most. So I started a column called The Natural Path in MD News magazine, which is a magazine just for physicians. So this really helped because they were able to start learning about some of the superfoods and some of the things that we can do for our body. And then a coaching practice was born. Even though I was working in systems and technology for the health sector and the financial sector and so on, people started coming to me. And they started saying, what are you doing? I want to know how you do this. And so this just progressed along. And before I knew it, I had a coaching practice, and I was coaching thousands of people. So I started writing about success stories and publishing those in Vitality magazine, which is Toronto's largest health magazine. And then I started working with this 87-year-old man who'd had a stroke. And we just hit it off. And the nutrition did so much for his body. So he started calling me his longevity rescuer. And then that brand was born. And so now I'm Alison Heath, the longevity rescuer. And this has just continued to expand. And I want to share this with everybody. I want to let everybody know that vibrant health is your right. It's the way you are naturally meant to experience life. Mm-hmm. And so I've been doing a lot of work with that, having a great deal of fun because we can do so much in the youthing category. I don't even like to use the word anti-aging. and just, it's so amazing because people make a lot of mistakes. They think, well, I have a droopy eyelid, so I'm going to do exercises just for my droopy eyelid. But there's so much more. First of all, your face is like your body. You need to tone all of it. So it's not just doing one little exercise. You do all of the exercises for your face. So I put something together for that. But that's not enough, because it's not just going out there and exercising your face. Imagine you just go out and exercise your body and then you continue to eat junk food or whatever you want to put in it. So I started to think, okay, what is it that really works in combination? And I thought, okay, we need to exercise all of our face. What are we putting on our face? And I thought, so many people are really aware of what they're putting in their mouth. And they're very conscious of it. But then they'll go around and they'll put on, say, like an antiperspirant deodorant, and they'll put on all this mineral oil, petroleum products, and all this stuff. And I realized, oh boy, let's start looking and addressing that. So I developed natural face creams and body creams and toners and all these different types of things. It really is, it's like edible cosmetics or edible personal care products. And it makes such a difference, because if you consider your skin is your largest organ on your body, but we're absorbing over 5 pounds a year, that's women, of toxins. And this is from the personal care and cosmetics that we're using.
All the petrochemicals and everything.
Yeah, and men, don't think you're getting off easy there, Tom, because men, it's 2.5 pounds. And children, same thing. Children have a huge amount of toxins that they're exposed to. Their toothpaste, the baby powders, all these baby shampoos, all this stuff that are supposed to be natural and hypoallergenic, it just isn't. So then I thought, okay, maybe people don't want to actually go to the trouble of making their own products. So I created companion books. I created books that could give lists of organic, high-grade, really healthy products that people could use. And then I thought, well, something, you have your favorite brands. Like, people have their perfume that they've used for years, or their aftershave, or whatever it is. And I thought, okay, well, why not help raise the awareness of the toxic chemicals that are actually in these products? So I knew that the best way with the work that I do, people need to see video. We don't read anymore, at least not very much. Kindle's pretty popular, but reading just isn't a happening thing. And if you want to connect with people, video seems to be the best. So it seems to me that the best way to get through and to connect with people is video or audio or something like that. So I started looking at creating a video module on what toxic chemicals to avoid. And when I started doing that research, I was like astounded. I was really shocked, because I had no idea that it's like the Wild Wild West. There's literally nobody policing the cosmetic industry and the healthcare industry or personal care industry and all that stuff. And they can slap on anything on a label, and it's full of toxins. And the perfume industry is one of the worst, because theirs is like a patent. It's like a trade secret.
Right,
so you're not allowed to know what's actually in there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is scary stuff, Tom, because what people don't understand is that we have our own pheromones. We have our own natural scent that's extremely magnetic and extremely alluring to the opposite sex. So when we're masking this with like all these aftershaves and all this stuff that we put on and thinking that we're going out and we're going to just like wow everybody. It's just not so. And allergies are on the increase all across the board.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people, there's a lot of buildings that are actually scent-free buildings. You can't enter the building if you're wearing aftershave or perfume, because our immune systems have been so bombarded with toxins in every direction. And when I start working with a lot of people, they go like, oh my God, everything is bad for me. And that's just not the case. But what is the case is rearranging the way you think about things, really changing what's going on with your whole lifestyle all across the board. And once you start making those changes, and once things start kicking in, then everything changes. You just feel so good. You want to jump, you want to leap, you want to do more of it. And it's easy because, I mean, demystifying food is a really big topic. And this is another area that I work with extensively. A young food diet and what you can put into your body to oxygenate your blood, to wake up your brain for better mental focus, and just to balance your hormones, because men have hormonal imbalances. I mean, you think about a teenager, and it's just like, hello, the hormones have taken over, and the brain's out to lunch, and it's just like, let's go. And it's the same thing for women even more so than men, actually, because, they go through their adolescence, their puberty, they have, with the menstrual cycle, so many things to go through. Then there's menopause, and it's a constant dance of the hormones. And getting those hormones to balance requires a 360-degree approach. So this is, to me, really fascinating because it's so darn easy. And people just don't realize it. And, people, I guess it's about getting priorities straight. And again, it's like a step-by-step-by-step process, because the first step, you start feeling things. And it's like, And then the next step, more and more. For me, Tom, this wasn't an overnight experience. It was an evolution. And now I'm 56 years old, and it's simple for me. My routines are simple. My smoothie that I make in the morning, it's like in a huge, huge blender. So it's like a 4-day smoothie. And it's packed with all this food that I've researched. I mean, I've got galanga root in there. I've got lotus root. I mean, I'm really big on roots. I've got all these greens in it and all this stuff. And even when I'm juicing, I mean, I do fresh juicing into my blender as well. I add that into my blender. But oftentimes, too, I'll make a juice, and I'll make enough for 2 meals. So I'll have one juice, and then I'll pour it into a bottle, and I'll put the cover on so it's airtight, and I'll have it later. So, I mean, I've got all these little time-saving tricks and so on. But introducing new ways of putting nutrition into your body is really amazing. So we've basically looked at 4 incredible things that we can do for youthing. But there's another one too, and this one has to do with our attitude. And I think if you look at anybody that's in peace, that's fulfilled, that's in touch with their divinity within, you see a glow. It doesn't matter about the age. It doesn't matter about the ethnic background. It doesn't matter about the religion. It doesn't matter about anything. You just see it. You see this glow. And the thing is that spark is more beautiful than any cosmetics you could ever use. And so what we want to do is we really want to realize that we're a diamond and we're multifaceted. And every single facet of that beautiful diamond needs to be polished. So we really do need to look at health from a complete, holistic point of view. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun starting this because, okay, I've been doing this. Well, like I said, I was a little party animal, doing everything and getting every childhood ailment you could name. You know, whooping cough, mumps, measles, you name it, I had them all. And then these big accidents and injuries, and then these incurable conditions, and blah, blah, blah. The list goes on of the trauma. You know, so what? Who doesn't? Who doesn't have that in their lives? We all do.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is what we can do with that. And when we start this journey, people think, I want this now. We're a society that's like quick fix. We go to the doctor, we hold out our hand, and we say, give me a pill. You know, we're totally abdicating any responsibility. We just want this pill to take care of this. When we think of food, oftentimes it's like a taboo subject. If you ask somebody, you know, how's your diet? How are you eating? Oh, I eat really good. Yeah,
Everyone
I eat really
says
good.
that.
Yeah, and you see what they're eating, and it's like, oh my God.
Then they go to McDonald's right after.
Yeah, or it's grandma's recipe, okay? If it was good for grandma, it's good for me. And it's a family tradition. We've been eating this way all our lives. Yeah, but, you know, your dad died of a heart attack, and your mom had cancer, and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, grandma, she was eating organic food. That was before market gardening happened. That was before GMO products came in. That was before the soil was completely depleted, and so on. So we have to be a lot more savvy now. But when you talk to people about nutrition, it's like, you know, it's like religion, it's like politics.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a taboo subject, and so on. So it's about walking the walk, and it's about inspiring people. And it doesn't matter what avenue you come at, because nobody really wants to age. And we have a society that values a youthful appearance. And the thing is that you can have that. You can have that easily. But again, it's like starting step by step and realizing that this isn't an instant fix. It might have taken you however many years to get to where you are now on the health scale, where you're battling extra weight, or you've got this problem or that problem, you've got all this stuff going on. It's going to take a while to unwind that. So it's to be aware of the fact that it's fun. And this is bringing back fun into your life. This isn't about whipping yourself over the shoulder, you know, and like being hard on yourself, being mean, being a self-critic. This is about being a witness and witnessing changes that are like so amazing. They're just so incredible. And it's not the destination. It's the journey that's fun. And there is no destination. And this is the thing that people just have trouble to understand from a cellular level. We're so goal-oriented. This isn't about having a goal. This isn't about a diet. Yet, you will shed and release unnecessary weight. You will have chronic conditions that you are living with disappear. In fact, so many of the clients that I work with, it's really fun, because what happens is, one woman, for example, she had these amazing cold sores, and she'd get them like every month. These are sores in the gums inside her mouth. And she was also getting a cold at least once a month. And all of a sudden, she didn't have that. She didn't have the cold and stuff like that. And I said, well, what about your cold sores? And she said, cold sores? She said, oh my God, I haven't had a cold sore for months. I don't even remember the last time. And you see, that's the way it should be. Because when your body is in homeostasis, when your body's in balance, what happens, Tom, is that you don't feel anything. And that's the way it's meant to be. Your natural state is joy. Your natural state is radiant health. And when you feel that, you don't have any aches and pains. You don't have anything going on like a sore shoulder or a headache or something. You're free of all of that. And so you just don't notice. And so, I encourage people that I work with to keep a log and start writing down where you are today. Think about every little problem area and make a note of that. Because in a few months down the road, you're not going to be experiencing that at all. And you're going to forget that you ever did. Because one of the graces of our life is that we do not remember pain. And thank God we don't. Because like I said, with all of the injuries and accidents I've gone through, if I had to go back and relive that pain or giving birth, I mean, God, could you imagine going back and living that? So we don't remember pain. And when we start feeling really good, it's just so natural. It just falls right in there.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And there's also a really interesting phenomenon I found with that as well, is that when someone does start to get healthier, they get on that right path, and maybe they had some illness or some disease, or they were sick all the time, and it clears up. It's like they don't even notice oftentimes unless you have a conversation with them about it. Like that lady who her cold sores were gone. If you hadn't asked her that question, she might not have ever even noticed. And some people, they get to that point and they go back to their old habits because they didn't notice the change, even though the change had already started to happen.
Yes, and it's oftentimes the people around them that notice the changes. They notice a shock in the eyes, like a brighter, sharper iris and eye and so on. There's another thing that happens as well, and that's an opening of the heart center and an opening of the consciousness. Because you see, when your body is having to constantly battle toxins and constantly battle negative thoughts and so on, and don't forget that this is so entwined. We are a chemical and an electrical system. And when our biochemistry is out of order, our electrical system becomes out of order. And when all of that happens, when we don't understand that the health of our gut is really our second brain and what an impact that has on our emotions, we don't understand that what we're doing is feeding our depression or feeding our anxiety or feeding our forgetfulness and brain fog and so on. And we don't understand that all of these things are so connected. So when we start giving our body what it really wants, what it really needs and craves, in every aspect, by eliminating toxins, by doing the exercises that are going to kick in the human growth hormone and all of that stuff, when we start doing that kind of thing, things change. And our consciousness starts opening. And it's almost like a blossom that's there and it's tight, tight, tight because it's got to protect itself. It's got to protect itself against all the elements and everything. And if you try to force that blossom to open, it's just going to break. It's not going to happen. But if you start giving yourself the nutrition that you need, the blossom starts unfolding and your consciousness starts raising. And as your consciousness starts raising, you start shying away from a lot of things that before were attracting you. You don't want the conflict anymore. You don't want the sadness anymore. You don't want the loneliness anymore. You're not so interested in the news and all that type of thing. You start feeling this feeling of the same feeling that you get when you see a sunset. And this beautiful panoramic view opens in front of you. And it's like, it feels so good that your heart almost stops. And your eyes start welling up with tears. Well, those tears, that's the language of the heart. Those are tears of joy, not tears of sadness. And when you feel that connection, and we all have, we felt that connection when we hold a beautiful newborn baby, or there's so many different experiences. It's unique to each individual, but we've all tapped into that experience. And know that we can set the stage in our own lives, because really we are the producer of our own play, and we are the main actor in our own play. And this is our life, and we actually have so much more power and so much more control than we know. But the beauty is that when we start opening this consciousness, what actually changes is that inside of ourselves, we don't need control anymore. We step into a new realm of trust, where we're able to see that and feel the rightness of the whole situation, and we're able to trust, and we're able to go forward with it. So there's no way to describe the experience. It's a knowing. It's not a believing, it's a knowing. And so people here do this, do that, these facial exercises to look young, or get this injection, get this peel, get this surgery, do this Botox treatment. And they don't realize the implications of that. They don't realize the neurotoxicity and what they're doing to their brain. But when they start doing it on a natural route, it may not be that quick fix, but it costs a heck of a lot less. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the same side effects. The side effects that it has is that your hair starts getting really thick, your nails start growing really fast, you have a lot more energy, your memory just kicks in, your mood changes. I mean, everything starts turning around, and those are the side effects. So when I read about the side effects of medication, there isn't one medication, not one, that raises your immune system. Not one. And I have TV, but I don't turn it on. And when I have somebody over that wants to watch something on TV and so on, we'll watch it. And these commercials come up, and they have like, you've got sexual dysfunction, you need some help with it, go and get this. Mm-hmm. And they list the side effects, and they reel them off like an auctioneer, at that auction block, and it's just like blah, 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 and it'll do this, and it'll do that, and beware of this and this, and I'm going like, holy crow, does anybody listen to that?
I know.
I mean, why would you go to your doctor and ask for that? It's crazy. Yeah. So, it's a journey. Mm-hmm. It's not a destination.
Definitely.
It's much fun. And, why not invest in something sustainable? If you're going to drop down $50,000 for one procedure, I know people that have spent $300,000 on different surgeries and so on. Is that really going to do anything for you? Is that going to get that spark inside? Is that going to open your consciousness and your heart center? Mm-hmm. Is that going to give you fulfillment? Mm-hmm. All of the things that I'm talking about, they all lead toward an incredible sense of joy, of bliss. And when you feel that fulfillment, when you feel that joy and bliss, you're overflowing. And you look beautiful, really beautiful. And you can do, like I said, my smoothie, for example, it's got so many different foods in it that have all been researched over the years, because that's what I did. I was a researcher, and I wrote and published to teach physicians. Well, I needed to know my stuff. And I'm fascinated by it, so I do that every single day. I'm always finding out about the latest cutting-edge stuff, and I'm always involved in it. But people don't necessarily have time to do that. So that's where it makes sense to just cut through the whole process and go directly to the source. Go and find people that are living the life that you want to live and get the mentoring and the coaching. This is what I've done all my life in every aspect, whether it's in the corporate work I've done, whether it's in the investment work that I've done, or whether it's in learning a new language or whatever it is. I always get coaches and mentors for everything I do. And I couldn't even imagine. Why would I want to reinvent the wheel? Why would I want to do it on my own? It's just like, no way.
Yeah, it saves you so much time and money in the long run.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And you know something, when I wanted to take my message to the world, and I realized something, I'm so busy with so many different things in my life because I've got an insatiable hunger for learning and new things and new adventures. And so I thought to myself, I can't divvy myself up into so many little pieces. And there were so many people that wanted to work with me and so on. And I didn't want to spend all my time on the phone with people. So I decided to start creating products to be able to deliver via the internet. And in order to do that, even though I have a degree in computer science, and I have a lot of degrees because as I said, I love learning. And I had worked in systems and technology for years. Still, there was so much to learn about sharing my message, about transforming people's lives through different programs and so on, that I had to really do another whole 2 years of learning. And that was a great deal of investment. That required a lot to do that. And some of the coaches that I invested in, big bucks and so on, I felt afterwards, I didn't really get everything that I needed, or I felt that the integrity was missing sometimes. And you know something? I still have no regrets for any of that, because it is all about taking pieces here, pieces there, pieces here, pieces here, pieces here, reaching up, reaching out, reaching around, and gathering it together to make a complete whole. And I can't begin to tell you the joy that I feel being able to spread the information that I have, but also, just like you're doing, Tom, connecting with the most amazing people, the most amazing healers, the most amazing inspirational sources, and sharing that with people. You see, in theory, it doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as the job gets done. I really feel that. And so many years working in professions that weren't my passion, because I had a degree in finance, because I had a degree in marketing, because I had a degree in economics, because I had a degree in computer science, I was doing all this stuff so that I could be assured of a job. And a job, it was like indirect foraging for food. I was doing it because I needed to make money. But what I didn't realize was that I could make money with my passion. That it isn't work, it's play. So this is what I do. I play all the time. And for a while I was overwhelmed because I was trying to learn all this stuff, thinking I had to do everything and not realizing that I could delegate. And then when I started to realize the joy of delegating and living life elegantly, and by elegantly I mean surrounding yourself with teams that has strengths, which are your weaknesses, and taking the things that you don't like off your plate and giving that to somebody who loves it. And it just becomes so simple to do that, and it becomes so beautiful. And I realized something, life is so short. It's a nanosecond. It's a blink of the eye, and it's gone. So there is nothing valuable as doing all the things on your bucket list. And this, something that's really important. And again, this gets back to attitude. This is a really important part of anti-aging, is learning to live in the realm of possibilities. And a successful person, to measure the success of a person, really essentially what they do, what that successful person does, because they're no different from you and I, but what they do is they put their focus on their desires. They put their focus on the possibilities. They infuse themselves on a cellular level with all of the wonder out there for them. They don't put their focus on their fears.
It's so true.
What doesn't work? Yeah, and it makes such a difference. And it's so much fun to do that. And it's a question of learning because it's habit, And it's just like I was saying, with all of the different aspects of polishing up your diamond, when you start taking it step by step, it's a question of habit. If you're in the habit of going to the store and buying prepared foods and this and that and whatnot, or doing grandma's recipe or whatever, and you start changing that habit because you start learning new things and you start replacing, then it becomes just as easy. It's not complicated.
Yeah, when the new habits kick in, it's just like so natural. It doesn't take any thought at all. It doesn't take any extra effort at all.
Nope. And it saves you time. It saves you time because you don't have those sick days anymore. If you have them, it's because you're playing hooky and going and doing fun. It's not because you're sick.
Exactly.
And you have energy. And so you're able to give to your family you love. And so on, and you're able to give from a place of overflow, not a place of depletion. So you don't feel that anger or resentment or burnout or all of these feelings. I mean, it changes so much. And at one of my clients, for example, what happened with her was she had reached the pinnacle and she was working with me in the corporate world at the time. And she said, go that. And she was satisfied with that, but she was just plugging along. Well, when she stopped things, she was just amazed because now she's had, I don't know, maybe 4 promotions. She's earning double her salary that she was satisfied with before. So if you think about the monetary increase in her income compared to the expenditure that she makes every month on like incredible superfoods, it's amazing. And so many of these superfoods and so many of these wonderful health things are free. They don't cost anything. You can grow them yourself. You can spread foods. You can have your own tower garden. You can do this. You can do that. You can have like incredible things. I always have my herbs fresh and all kinds of stuff going on. It's just there's nothing that compares to the taste of food. And near farmers markets or in an area that's like really has a lot of real food. And it's so nice. It's so much fun. But you can do that on your own easily if you learn how.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so true. And like you said earlier, we've got to take control and take responsibility for our own health. And, if we don't have those access to fresh foods in our areas, like it's up to us to get it done, grow it yourself, do whatever it takes so you do have access to that kind of food.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be time consuming. That's the beauty. And neither does exercise have to be time consuming. And there are wonderful exercises that you can include that actually get your human growth hormone kicked in. And they should call it human maintenance hormone, because when you're young, it's for growth, but for maintenance. So it's learning to do that. And this is, there's so much available. It's so exciting. I wish we had 3 hours together, and even then, the that I have so often is just to do a Spock mind melt or whatever, like that. But anyway, just to go, you know, and do a mind melt with people and just download the 25 years of information that incorporated into my life. And I'm still learning. And I'm still incorporating. And I'm still totally juiced up about this, you know? So fun. And it puts you on a different level because all of a sudden your connections with people become grounded in joy. And you know those things about that like little nasty self-critic that tells you, oh, you're so stupid, or why'd you do that, or what are they going to think of you? That goes. I mean, that just goes the way of the will-o-wisp. It's not there anymore. And, you know, this thing of, oh, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, or whatever, that goes too. Because all of a sudden you start connecting. You start connecting with your universal source, with that divinity within you. It's like the umbilical cord just goes clunk like that. And you start realizing that you are part of something so much bigger. You start realizing that you're precious, extremely precious. And you start realizing that it isn't selfish to take care of yourself at all. In fact, it's essential. And it's the first step to being able to really give. I hear so many people say, I want to be able to do this because I want to be able to help others. I want to help others. I want to help others. I want to help others. Well, that's all fine and dandy. But, you know, you got to help yourself first. That's what, you know, put your oxygen mask on before you help your kid. You got to be coming from a place of overflow. Doing that is by taking care of yourself and watching your consciousness blossom, watching yourself expand, watching the world of possibilities open up in front of you. And, you know, there's so many people that watch The Secret and all this type of stuff, and then they tried to manifest it and it didn't happen because they were just hanging on. They were hanging on to all these old belief systems, just like they were hanging on to all those old food habits, just like they weren't incorporating exercise into their life, just like they were pouring on all kinds of toxic makeup, cosmetics, and stuff to try to look good, even though they felt like a piece of crap, and they were just dragged through their day. You know, these are all things that we can let go of. Imagine how light you'd feel if you could let go of a lot of those burdens. Imagine what it would be like to be able to just laugh, and laugh a belly laugh that brought tears to your eyes, and just have fun and joy back into your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about that then. Like, how can people move forward? Because obviously we only have so much time in the show today, but I know you've got some amazing programs to share with people. So tell us about that before you go.
Oh my! What? We've been talking about things that we can do for youthing, and I've got a program called the Easy Natural Facelift that is a really adorable program. It's so much fun, and it includes so much information. So that's easynaturalfacelift.com. And then there's the longevityrescuer.com. This is another coaching program. It's more intense, where we're looking each call. We do exercises together, and we do a lot more. So that's a deeper coaching program that lasts longer. And there's also your Vibrant Health Secrets multi-expert interview series. And that's at your vibrant.secrets.com. And that's it's twice a year. I get a huge amount of like amazing experts who for free share their information with you. It's absolutely mind-bogglingly fun and incredible. And I feel blessed to be able to be a conduit and to be able to bring these people together. So at any time, you can go there and you can get on that and be kept up to date as to every time there's a summit going on. It's so much fun. And my blog, you know? So my blog is longevityrescuer.com. I certainly think that the Easy Natural Facelift program is a wonderful way to get started because it's so much fun. And it incorporates everything. So, you know, that's a great way to connect. And you can find me on Facebook. You can find me all over the place. Just Google Alison Heath and you'll get me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alison, for sharing your joy, your inspiration, your passion, and all your knowledge with us. I know it's going to help touch thousands of lives and help thousands of people improve their health. So thank you so much.
Tom, because, you know, if it wasn't for people like you making it possible for us to share this common passion, to be able to talk to people, it wouldn't be possible. So I really thank you, and I thank all of your listeners, because without you guys, I couldn't do the work I love. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Alison. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey there, it's Tom Corson-Knowles again. I hope you loved the show today with Alison Heath. I know she's an incredible woman, an inspiring woman, and she's doing amazing things out there, just changing people's lives through good nutrition and good health habits. And I'm so proud to have had her on the show today. So hope you got some great notes, hope you got some great ideas, and hope you're going to go out there and put this into action. You know, right now, write down in your notes, you know, what is the one thing that I learned in this interview that I'm going to use, that you are going to use, to change your life, to change your health, to change your diet, whatever it is you want to change, you know, you're the one in control. So it doesn't happen if you don't take action, though. So write down right now the action step you're going to take that you've been inspired to do because of this interview. And we'll see you next week on the next edition of the Authentic Health Coaching Show. All right? See you soon. Take care.